Good morning, everybody. It's been a relatively decent week, hasn't it? To be fair, it's not even really popped massively, but it's a start. It's a start. So I've been looking at some of these. I'm not going to bore you to death with like the likes of Atom or whatever. I've already just made a video about that, but there is a lot of altcoins that I'm quite pleased with. So that's what the Patreon's for, by the way. Come and join. Links in the description below. We do 2 live streams a week, and one of them will be tomorrow. So let's start with the old man, shall we? So weekly still trend. Obviously the trend signal for Itchy Cloud, the support now relatively clear on the 20 moving average, and we've moved into the top of the range. Well, it's not the top of the range, but it's the next major area of resistance. So we've done that now. So there you go, bang, bang. Now at the moment, obviously it's still a lower high. So let's not get too massively excited. It is just a lower high at the moment. We're sort of move it down a notch or two to have a look to see if we were able to break this. Well, it's a red portion of the cloud, so no pump on the daily. Money flow index has reached 80 already, which, well, I mean, it's quite high to be honest. But there is always a chance it goes higher, but it's quite high. I mean, the last times we've hit 80, we saw a pullback here, and then we got the bearish divergence read, which led to that peak. We also hit that over here, the bearish, and then we got sort of consolidated and got the bearish divergence read here, which also led to the lower low. So now we're up here again. I think it's likely that we do pull back, actually. I know, so sad, isn't it? So sad. Based on the daily, we've hit a resistance, and we've also hit a resistance, for the a resistance for your money flow index as well. So I'm not a big believer that hopium is what should drive us higher through the resistance. But, if we do, fine. But it is the weekend, so I would like to see a pullback here. Now, the pullbacks would take you to the next area of moving average. We've got the top ones here, 10 exponential, 113, 700. Sorry, I got a little bit of a cold coming on. Excuse me. 21, so basically 113 flat, and then you're down here again at 112. So long as each one of those, well, any one of those holds, that's where the higher low should form. Don't really want to see it go any lower than that, so 112 being the lowest. Golden Cross is now confirmed at 113, which is good. That's also areas on the daily. Got overheated read on the money flow index here, and bearish divergence led to the peak. So if it breaks through, fine. Alright, I'm happy with that. Obviously, I'm holding quite a few Bitcoins. I'm happy to let them break through. I've got no intention of selling them right now, so great. But, looking at what we see right now, a daily, 4-hourly, and it being the weekend, I wouldn't be buying anything today, let's face it. The time to buy was in the week. So yeah, anyway, that's your Bitcoin. It does look like it wants to pull back. 113, 112, those are the areas to look for. So let's move over to Ethereum. Ethereum really trying its hardest to get quite close to the previous high. Quite proud of it, to be honest. I'm proud of you, mate. Done well. No real warning signs on the 4-hourly there, so I'm not going to be like, as skeptical of what it's capable of doing here. Same thing with the daily. We've had a full-on reset down here with hidden bullish divergence. This really could pop through if it wanted to. Could it do it as Bitcoin's pulling back? I don't know. Maybe. I mean, we've seen that before, and if it is alt session time, then it would be appropriate for it to do it while Bitcoin continues to consolidate. Bitcoin can make lower highs, lower lows, while altcoins do the opposite. We've seen it. Well, we have seen it. It's not very common, but we have seen it. It's kind of end of cycle stuff when that sort of thing happens, but it is possible. So yeah, there's your daily. So it's got the capacity to move beyond, and your 4-hourly also has capacity to move beyond. Now the weekly still looks good. To be honest, it's really quite strong. What we really want to see is the breakout and then continuation. And with that comes the measured move that we've had on here, which takes it to 7,000. So 7,000 being the target once this area breaks. Obviously, it won't go straight to 7,000. Well, it could, but I wouldn't be banking on it. But That's your situation for Ethereum. XRP, clear breakout now. Obviously, I'd love to see this weekly close this way, but even if it doesn't, we've got the daily closing like this all the time. We don't have any pump or trend signals on the daily here, but we are getting close to it. We're above the cloud. Got a positive cross in the cloud. Cheeky span needs to be above the cloud, and we need a leading portion to be green. So we're getting quite close to a pump signal. With or without it, a retest to the bottom of the trend line here. $2.91 ish kind of area. That would be fine. Give it a shot. Try to long that. I've got a long on this one, quite a decent one as well actually. I'll post them all in the Telegram if you want to join that too. There's links for that. There's nothing special about looking at other people's positions. It's just bragging rights in it really. I try not to do it. I do feel like a bit of a twat when I do it, but sometimes you kind of have to do it. It's like it's just that dark side in you, isn't it? It's like, oh, look, I've made a good trade, I've got to show everybody. I try not to do it. I try to be a nice, humble guy, but sometimes it just, yeah, I'm going to show everybody, yeah, I'm ace, I win. We all do it. Come on, we all do it. Anyway, so at the moment the next target on this one's going to be 330, and then obviously 350, and then break out beyond that to new all-time highs. This should take everybody else with it, you know, that's in some way associated with this kind of crypto. ALGO actually had, ALGO sometimes has good setups, believe it or not, although it's never really reflected in the price. The daily. Yeah, rough golden cross retest, never death crossed on the daily either. It looks kind of slow. It's weird the way that it presents itself, and also the money flow index is getting quite hot over here, but it's obviously not massively overheated. But you could be looking with this one to sail up into 28 over the weekend. I'm not saying that that's what it's going to do. The 4 hour is also a bit strange. It's not got any golden crosses. We're above the cloud. We've got pump signal on this one, but it's the weekly that I like on this one. The weekly managed to find support on the 20 moving average, which is a nice area to pull back from. So you had a big pullback from the high to the low, 33%, and now we're sort of bouncing from here, which is an obvious place for it to do it. Bollinger Band strategies tell you you're more likely to see a bounce from here than a breakdown. It doesn't say that it's more likely to return to its former glory, but it's certainly a bounce from here. So it's working out. So you've got 28 and so on and so on. And this would go, this sort of setup is the same for obviously ALGO, XLM. I haven't looked, but I bet XDC is the same. HBAR will be the same. All of those sort of like XRP related coins are looking quite good, and XLM obviously looking like it's doing basically the same thing. 21 exponential moving average getting a support here, moving into the top of the trend line. Break this, increments on the way up, 43, 47, and beyond. So it's all quite promising. Again, for me to go through all the altcoins in the world this morning would be a silly thing to do, but if you join the Patreon, we can look at whatever ones you want to look at, and we can see if they're good or not. The last stream was Wednesday, and the takeaway from it was that actually there are quite a lot of altcoins that do look good. High term timeframes mostly, some low term. There are some that are different. Atom was different. Polkadot would have been different, but Atom was my preference of the two, although they're basically the same. Because the 4 hourly had already broken bullish. We hadn't got many of these, even on some of those coins that we've looked at yet. We don't have golden crosses on the 4 hourlies, so we do have that here. So this one's trending on a 4 hourly, which means it's likely to continue. Golden crosses and a new one today for simple moving averages. So yeah, Atom's slightly different on the 4 hourly than it is on the others. So the daily, it's now just got itself a pump. Well, it's not quite confirmed yet. It will confirm tonight, if we can hold this level or higher. But there'll be a pump signal on the daily for Atom to take you to 540 on this one. And obviously the weekly, it looks to me like it's been in a very long period of accumulation all the way back since the beginning of the year, really, since February. Which is a good look, because if we do break out from an accumulation zone that's been going on for 8 or 9 months, you would expect a decent rally, $8, $10.50, $10.60. I'm not going to say any more than that, but yeah, maybe up towards 10 to 12s at best, and if it ever breaks that, then you are looking for a lot more. I'm not here to, you know, be a moon boy or anything like that, but what I'm trying to present to you is that cryptos across the board generally move as one. The crypto market moves together for the most part, but we can see that in amongst these coins, there are some that look different, even though they all present bullish in the same way. You know, generally are all presenting bullish. They have their own setups as well, which is interesting. So I'm spread across the board. You know, I've got portfolio here, so I generally only really show you the things that I have. You know, because I'm not really an influencer as much as I am just somebody who presses record in the morning when I'm looking for trade setups or just monitoring my own setups. But what I'm trying to show you here is that yes, the X, Y, Z, these things are all bullish, but they're bullish in different ways, and so you'd expect different behaviour, but still bullish overall. But I don't know if I get my point across well enough this morning, but either way, you know, not all altcoins are created equal is one of my sayings, and that's absolutely true, because when we looked at a lot of altcoins as well, there's plenty that just don't look good at all. They're not presenting it in a bullish way, they're just moving with the market, whereas these ones that I've shown you here, they are presenting bullish off their own back. You know, if these charts were, you know, isolated, traded in a vacuum, completely unrelated to all other cryptos, so if Bitcoin didn't exist, if Ethereum didn't exist, and we're just trading a chart which is Atom or ALGO or XRP or XLM or Ethereum or whatever, and they weren't influenced by any other markets, they all present bullish anyway, so that's good. Some altcoins that we look at, you know, the best you can say is this is a bearish chart, but hopefully because the rest of crypto is going up, they might move up for association. Well, that's no way to look at anything, is it really? That's not really what anybody should be doing. That's gambling, really, because you're buying something in the hope that other things continue to remain bullish long enough for that to maybe even create its own bullish setup, which from a lot of these crappy old coins is a long way off. Right, so I'll leave it there, and maybe I'll see you tomorrow night, maybe I won't. Other than that, hope you have a nice day. Take it easy.